I got involved with the MDM project at University of Colorado, I think at the end of 2008. And when I came on board, we had already decided what product we were going to use. And I think my second day on the job, Nimish's team showed up to start doing an implementation. At that point, we were part of a strategic development partnership with Oracle and Lumendata to, kind of be a test case customer to see what worked and didn't work with this product. So because I come from development background, it was a lot of fun to participate in, and we still like the product, so it's all good. So University of Colorado is a 4-campus system. One of them is a medical school. We have roughly 70,000 active students, so fairly large, distributed over the 4 campuses, not so evenly. And our student systems are, it's an enterprise system, but there's a lot of control at the campus level. We have about 35,000 active employees in our HRMS system. We have a significant percentage of students and employees who have relationships with multiple campuses. So you might be faculty on one campus taking a class at another campus and an employee on another campus. And maybe an alumni on a 4th campus. All these sorts of situations which really make it hard to track a person through time and across domains. Also, a significant percentage of persons are both student types and employee types with the universities. I want to say that we really approach maybe 50% of our employees who have, taken a Spanish class, gotten their degrees from CU, all these different relationships. So living in separate worlds is very difficult. We are not a university who was part of the whole Oracle split for their HCM product. We had a SCT student system that we were moving off of, and PeopleSoft HRMS. So we have had challenges with matching people for eternity practically. We have roughly 2 million person records in our student systems that we keep around and try to pay attention to, and we have roughly 200,000 person records in our HRMS system, or the HCM system as people are referencing it. We have, in terms of challenges, we have duplicate person records within systems, in our student system with all of the suspects, prospects, yada, yada, yada. We've got, in the tens of thousands maybe at this point. It's a lot of potential matches within the system that we've not been able to identify previously. We have had the inability to know, match, and synchronize person data across systems. We have a number of data quality issues in terms of incomplete addresses, malformatted phone numbers, all sorts of issues that way. And we've also had a lot of cumbersome batch integrations to attempt to share sort of synchronized data between these systems. We also, because we don't have that golden person record that is managed centrally, we end up distributing a lot of sensitive FERPA type data to downstream systems that, maybe they really don't need the Social Security number, but if we can't help them identify that these constituents are indeed one person, then we need to give them the tools to do that. So we share a lot more information than ideally we would. We were in a situation, it was resource intensive, required a significant amount of manual effort to manage, and very expensive for the university. And I should add to that just inability to provide quality service at the level we wanted to. Okay.
Next slide.
Did you hand it to me, Nimish, or can you change the slide?
I moved to the next slide. Can you see it now, or?
Oh, yes, you did it. Thank you. Goals for MDM. So this is back in 2008. I was actually fortunate to dig up some old slides, and I thought, these are still relevant, and that's a good sign too. we're still solving the same problems that we thought we needed to solve in 2008. You know, deduping the constituent data for campus solutions in particular. We do have duplicates in, you know, within HRMS just because we have a significant number of POIs that we don't have great data around, but mostly it's to help us with campus solutions. Synchronizing constituent information. We've got HCM 8.9, PeopleSoft, Campus Solutions 9.0, CRM 9.0. At the start of our project, we intended to have CRM be a source of person data for our suspects, prospects. That has not happened yet. So currently, all test score loads, suspects, prospects, applicants, students, alumni, faculty, everybody is in our campus solutions system. That gives you a little better picture of the variety of information we have in campus solutions based on the population. Publishing constituent information. We need a way to, each of our campuses has their own identity management department that manages, the email for students, all their access to campus services, those sorts of things. So we need to be able to get that single person information down to the campuses. That's a huge piece of provisioning. I'll talk about that a little bit later in terms of one thing that we've done in terms of providing quick provisioning to the campuses. And then you've got numerous administrative and academic systems, our libraries, our health centers, those sorts of things that need this information. The other goal was to retire our expensive custom solutions. We had a variety of very creative pseudo hubs built by sometimes a department, sometimes just a little bought software package. Limited integration capabilities. We were doing nightly batch for all of our provisioning feeds, just really, again, sending all this data all over the place. And it was expensive to maintain, leverage. Okay. Okay, so this is a little picture of what we looked like before. So you can see there were probably about 15 or 20 person models in action here, none of which really talked effectively to each other, so that's the problem that you may be seeing yourself. Okay. This is just an example of some of the nightly batch interfaces that we were running, just extracting data, sending it down, having to keep track of all these different fields, elements, make sure that it got to 50 different places every day. Okay. So afterwards, you can see the hub is in the middle here, and we've got everything knowing about that golden person record from the centralized MDM. So cross-referencing, and I know Nimish talked about this a little bit, but here's just an example where what MDM provides us with is a constituent ID for a person. So there is that unique identifier that provides the cross-reference for each individual across all the systems that they may have a person record in, so that when a record gets updated and MDM is aware about it, it can publish information out to any of the systems that need to know about that person and update information accordingly. Okay. All right, and here's just a glimpse. I love the fact that our whole master data management system can be encapsulated on one page to an extent. You'll see this is almost a complete set of data under the attributes column that is recommended for gathering for constituents. So we've got the basic name, address, phone, email, all the MPL IDs, birth, national ID, gender, veteran flag status, death, privacy, constituent ID, and affiliations. And I'll talk about affiliations a little bit later. I don't think I did a slide on that, but they're pretty important in this whole process. So anyway, so we, at the very onset of the project, business and IT representatives came together. We decided on what set of attributes were important to master across the systems. You know, the next column gives you information about the fields that we were capturing. And then the third column is the MDM primary selection. So this is key for the whole matching component of MDM, which is the big power for us. You may have 5 different name types, 5 different address types, 20 different email types in a system. So it's important to say, well, you know, which is the most reliable one in each system and which one are we going to feed to MDM to match across the systems. And so it's not always going to be, even if we have kind of 2 PeopleSoft systems based on that same HCM person model, you know, our HRMS system uses home address in the same way that our campus solution system uses mailing address. So knowing how to map across the systems was another important exercise that we went through early on. The next column I have there is security level. What we've tried to do here, it's pretty much internally relevant, but in relation to FERPA data, we look at, well, you know, what is our directory information as we define it that we're willing to provide to anybody, and on and on and on until you get to the birth dates and the SSNs where you really want to hold that close. We're keeping track of that so that when we set up all of our published messages to downstream systems, we can say, oh, you know, you have this level of security, you're going to get name, address, and email, or oh, you need everything, so we'll send you that social security number too. So just trying to align how we're collecting the data, what we're storing, and how we're going to be sharing that information downstream and across systems with ways we treat data in other source systems. The next column here, matching. Based on our historical data, really what we have the most of, and I highly recommend a lot of data analysis at the onset because the further back you go in history, the different types of data you're going to have that are going to be more reliable. So what we ended up with, our key matching criteria are the basic name, address, birth date, and national ID. There was a lot of pressure to include email addresses in that, but as we showed people, if we go back 10 years, 15 years, we don't have that kind of information about people. So it's not, you know, going forward, it's great for matching people, but historically and then that first build, it was not anything that proved useful to us. And it took some figuring out to know that that was true. Survivorship, I know Nimish touched on this, and this was a fun meeting where we got to bring in all of our HRMS business people and our Campus Solutions business people and say, if we have a record for one person and you have this information and we have this information, which is going to trump in this scenario? So just getting to the point where we could say, if it's Social Security number, it's always going to be HRMS, those sorts of decisions that need to be made in those conversations. Those conversations are really important for a number of reasons, because with MDM, you're really building this university-wide view of data, and that was something that was somewhat new to University of Colorado, and we're still working on that, just getting people to understand what it means to be a person at the university versus a person in a particular system. Okay,